Hey y'all, I'm going to show you how to make the salsa that I call habanero salsa. I make this salsa for my husband. He likes his salsa super spicy. I like heat, but I won't eat this. It's just too hot for me. However, I will go over some options for you while I'm putting this together that you could do to make this less spicy or not spicy at all. Okay, so let's go over what do we need to make this habanero salsa. In this bowl right here, I have some habanero lime spice that you can get. This particular brand right here is habanero lime that's from Sam's Choice. But pretty much any grocery store you can find different types of mixtures of spices like that, and they're sometimes really very interesting. We're also going to use a couple of tablespoons of white sugar. You can use whatever sugar you'd like. I have 2 sweet onions. We may only use 1.5, we'll see. We have 4 cans of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. We will use all 4 of those cans plus some water that we'll measure with those cans. We have a head of garlic that we will use 8 or so cloves of garlic depending on how big they are. I have our homemade crushed habanero flakes. I have 3 types of peppers that was available at the store at this time of year. You can use whatever peppers you like. The spicier, the happier Kyle is, so these are the peppers that he chose. We have jalapenos, poblanos, and some green chilies. We also have tomatoes. Probably will use about, say 6 of those. We'll see how big they are when I get them cut up, and we'll adjust if we need to. We also have some lime juice. We also have smoked paprika right back here, some celery seeds, and some liquid smoke, and Worcestershire sauce. Those are the main ingredients that are going to be used. I don't think I mentioned white vinegar is hiding out back there behind the habanero lime. We're going to use some of that as well. We're going to put all of this together, and I will be back when I have the cutting board ready and ready to cut it all up for you guys. Okay, so we are going to just roughly chop these onions. I've already peeled them so y'all don't have to see that, but you don't really need anything smaller than what I'm doing. We're using a pressure cooker. You can do this in a, what do you call it, crock pot if you wanted a slow cooker, but you'd have to cook it for a lot longer. I'm just going to go ahead and use the Instant Pot. And you just get some rough chops like this, and then we're going to slightly saute it because I think that probably gives it a little bit better flavor. Let's see how much we get from this half. We're going to go ahead and put these in the Instant Pot. I'm using an 8-quart. You can cut this recipe down and do a 6-quart. We're going to put it in the Instant Pot and get it a little bit sauteed. I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil here. I'll put it on high. Just go ahead and let that oil get hot, and we'll be right back to show you the onion sauteing. Alright, so the pot is almost hot. It's still saying on. If you know of an Instant Pot, it'll say hot. Hit stop. Okay, we're just going to put a little bit of salt right here. And one of my tricks is I use a peppercorn medley. And it has a little more kick to it and a lot better flavor. Okay, why don't you come over here and show them what the onions look like. You're not really looking to brown them, just kind of looking for them to get a little soft enough that they're kind of falling apart. And then you can get pieces like this that don't ever get soft out. And we're gonna let that do its thing and come back over here and start working on chopping some peppers up. You can slice them like this, or you can do them like I do them. And that's it. And the Instant Pot's gonna make them soft. We'll go ahead and give them another cut just so I can see really how much we got going on. Seeds and all, folks. What kind of green chili was this again, Kyle?
I'm not sure. Really unsure.
These peppers are a little soft. But that's this time of year for you. And honestly, y'all can use however many peppers you want. Kyle really likes the peppers, so I just go on and use a bunch. And that's kind of how you want it to look with all that green with the onion. That's how I guess about what he's going to like, and that's the way it looks. So we're going to go ahead and turn the saute off now. And we're going to get some tomatoes going and some garlic. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut some garlic up. We got about 8 cloves worth here, because they're kind of big, and then that was odd. So, really, you don't have to chop them up too much. Just got to get the wrapper off and toss them in. And if you smush your garlic cloves like I'm doing, it makes it so much easier to peel. I don't know if we're going to be able to use that one. I'm going to go for one more clove. those right in there. I like to use these when I buy them in the store that are on the vine. They have a little bit better flavor. Okay, you just basically rough chop these just like we did the onion. And you really can use however many tomatoes you want. If you don't like tomatoes too much, then use less. But adjust the amount of sugar that you use, because the sugar is there to combat the acidity of the tomatoes. Probably gonna do 2 more, but we'll see how full it is. Yeah, definitely a couple more. It's the easiest salsa recipe I've ever made. Again, if you're going to do this in a slow cooker, you'll want to maybe make these tomato pieces a little smaller just so it can cook a little faster. But we're using a pressure cooker, so it'll cook fast enough. Okay. Now, sometimes the chipotle peppers are just too big, so I just take a look and make sure if any of them needs to be kind of cut up, then we will. Okay, most of them weren't too terribly big. That's the messiest part, y'all. The messiest. Okay, now you can come on over here, Kyle. We're gonna put the rest of these cans in, and for every can we put in, we're gonna put in a partial can of water. So, about like that. So I'm gonna add these other cans and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is what our pot looks like so far. You can see we have liquid down there at the bottom. We're gonna have a little bit more with the vinegar. And if I think it needs a little more liquid, we'll put it, but these tomatoes are gonna spew out a bunch of liquid of their own, so I don't think we will. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, back over here. Get our cut up ones and get those in there, and then we'll go on to the spices. Okay. So we're gonna put about a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup of white vinegar. You want distilled white vinegar. Let's see what we get with this. That's a little more than 3/4. Oh yeah, see? Come take a look at the liquid level now. See? We got plenty. Okay, then we are going to do 2 tablespoons, I think I usually do. Or is it teaspoons? Oh, 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke. I put that in the sink, so let's get another one. Okay, so one of the tricks is the liquid smoke. And put 2 teaspoons of that in here. Want a good helping of the Worcestershire sauce. I believe these, I can't remember now. Let me take a look at my notes. Yeah. We're going to have about 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire. The lime, I just eyeball it. I don't really know how much I put in here, but I'd say that's probably about a teaspoon and a half, maybe 2 teaspoons. We'll go ahead and add our habanero lime that I showed you earlier and our sugar. Yes, I'll be washing my hands after touching that, y'all, don't worry. Here's our smoked paprika, celery seed, and the actual crushed habanero. And we're just gonna stir it up. Come over here and let's show the folks what it looks like. Well, that don't really look much like salsa, does it? When it's done cooking, we will use an immersion blender and it will look like salsa. You just want to get those spices mixed in there. Try not to have big pieces of tomato on the bottom because there is natural sugars in there in the Instant Pot. Sometimes with tomatoes or tomato sauce, it will think it's burning. Okay, so we're going to put the lid on the Instant Pot. Make sure we're in sealing. And then we're going to go on manual, and we're going to go 5 minutes, folks. That's all it takes. Going to do at least a 10-minute natural release. So, you know, it takes a little while to come up to pressure. So, you know, probably 20 minutes total. But we'll come back when we are ready to do the next step. Okay, we're at 10 minutes after, and I'm going to turn this so it doesn't spray the top of my cabinets. And release the steam. Okay, let's take the lid off. Let's see what we've got. Excuse me. That doesn't look so appetizing like that, does it, folks? But you put your immersion blender in. Check and see how it's going. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna go just a little longer. There's just still a few tiny chunks. let's look and see what that looks like, y'all. What you think of that, Kyle?
Looks good to me.
Okay.
Smells delicious.
Smells like your salsa, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of this in a bowl and stick it in the freezer and let it get cooled off enough that Kyle can taste it. And we will show you him having a bite of it to let me know if anything needs to adjust.
Okay, I'm gonna try our wonderful salsa again. Smells delicious. Tastes just as good as last time. I got a wonderful wife that makes wonderful salsa. Delicious. Perfect.
Okay, folks, you heard it from the man. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't taste it. I know what it smells like. I know what I put in it, but I don't eat it. It's too hot.
Eat on this all night.
I will attempt to write the recipe down for you guys, but honestly, you just need to really remember the sugar, the tomatoes, the chipotle peppers, and the liquid smoke. The onion to some degree, and the garlic to another degree, really to your liking. But you mainly need to make sure you have just those base ingredients. The chipotle peppers, liquid smoke, tomatoes, vinegar, and whatever peppers you want. And the sugar to combat the tomatoes. So I'll try to write down what I do, and you guys make it your own. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.